The market is actually really good right now with all the incentives and promotions that are being offered to
Agents say the Bay Area real estate market has hit rock bottom, moving from a crazy seller's market to an incredible buyer's market led by home builders with too much inventory. Now builders like Parkview Homes are slashing prices and giving away big cash incentives.
the inventory homes that are ready to move in within 30 to 60 days. We have up to $27,000 in incentives. Some of the money comes directly off the price of the home, and then the rest of the money we're using for financing options.
And if you build a new home, appliances, granite countertops, and builder upgrades are all part of the deal. But veteran real estate agent Vince Arcuri says you can get all that and more if you know how to negotiate. And if you're willing to be ruthless, you can get the deal of a lifetime.
Well, you can ask for anything. I think last year they would have probably laughed you out of the room and just taken the next offer that came in the next 5 minutes after that one.
But offers aren't 5 minutes apart anymore. Vince says sellers are lucky to get even one buyer in 5 months. He says first negotiate the price of the home from the market price, not the sticker price. That's tricky to get home values from recent sales, but comps from 3 to 6 months ago may still be too high.
Just because you got a seller to come down $30,000 or $40,000 doesn't necessarily mean you got a good deal. If the house was overpriced by 50 or 60.
Vince says people are still trying to price their home based on last year's boom, not this year's bust. Next, Vince says gauge the seller's motivation and negotiate with the confidence of knowing you're the only bidder. And if the seller says other offers are coming in?
If an agent told me that, I would advise a buyer to just pull out at that point and see what happens, and because I wouldn't want to compete with anybody in this market because you don't have to.
Vince says right now is the best time to negotiate in newer communities.
Where the builders overbuilt, the inventory is huge. There were a lot of investor purchases last year. Those investors that were normally flipping these properties inside of 30 days have now been sitting on them for 8, 9, 10 months. They're pretty desperate to get rid of the properties. Many of those investors are willing to take a loss.
So Vince says your strategy should focus on negotiating between the desperate investor and the builder.
You're able to manipulate that seller because they realize they're up against a builder that's going to give those amenities. They're going to give a pool, they're going to do the granite countertops, they're going to do stainless appliances, and either they have to comply at a lower price or continue to hold the property.
Finally, on the ruthless end of the negotiating table, Vince says pulling out of a deal can be one of the most effective ways to get a steal in this market. Vince says one of his co-workers just pulled off an incredible deal.
And as the home neared completion, she let the builder know that she was withdrawing from the contract because she felt like the price was too high. And the seller came down $100,000 and paid all of her closing costs.
Finally, agents say do your homework and take the emotion out of the negotiation. It will give you the upper hand. Walt Makaborski, ABC Action News.